Welcome, bienvenue. My name is Renee Ketchum, and I'm thrilled to welcome everyone to Chef Alain LeNôtre invites you to make Tarte Nougat Pomme. Anybody following along who's already purchased the book can see the recipe on page 258, 259 if you have it already. So AFUSA is the largest Alliance Française network in the world, helping 25 learners of French every year learn French, live French, and absolutely adore French with the Alliance Française. We have some national events coming up soon, so please check the AFUSA website, but please also note that Chef LeNôtre will be back in both the middle of November and December. So keep signing up for these great cooking classes. A couple of logistics. Today's events will be in both English and French. Please stay on mute during the presentation and stay on speaker view. All questions should be placed in the chat. And if for any reason you have technical issues, sign back in after a few minutes using the original Zoom link. The event is being recorded for our YouTube channel, so you'll receive a link to watch it again if you've signed up. And the total runtime is 1 hour. Again, bienvenue to Chef Alain LeNôtre. Alain LeNôtre is a third-generation chef of the LeNôtre family. He is the founder of the Culinary Institute LeNôtre in Houston, Texas, ranked the #1 culinary art college in the US for 3 years in a row by niche.com. In 2021, Chef LeNôtre contributed to the English translation and republishing of Faites votre pâtisserie comme le nôtre in English, French pastries and desserts by LeNôtre. Bienvenue, Chef LeNôtre.
Bienvenue les amis de la France, heureux d'être là.
So are we ready for the interview, Melissa? So the first question, Chef, is based on your hands-on apprenticeship at Paris's LeNôtre Lab starting in 1961. What was your motivation for creating a better pastry education for culinary students?
I always had a sense of critic. So I was happy to do my apprenticeship at my father's pastry shop, but very surprised because the shop was so busy and the space so cramped. One day I calculated we have 1 square meter per employee. So I went to see my father and said, you have to do something, you have to build a second lab somewhere. Actually, he enlarged. First, he enlarged the place by renting more space from our landlord. That was cramped. That was very busy. We worked 10 to 12 hours a day, and we could not ask questions. Apprentices could not ask questions. There was no time. And maybe the chef de partie we were working under could not answer the question. They knew what to do and do very well, but they could not explain why it has to be like that. So that was a little bit frustrating. But there was a reward. We had lunch in the lab and always wine on the table. Can you imagine?
So are you ready for the second question? The second question, no, yes, I guess.
Yeah.
Were you prepared for your apprenticeship exam, the CAP, in Paris in 1963? And can you share with all of us the requirements for passing this very important culinary exam?
I was not prepared at all. The day before the exam, my father called me in his office. That was the kitchen of the family kitchen, by the way. That was his office. He said, Alain, tomorrow you are not working with us. You go to your CAP exam. I said, yes. You know, it's a 2 days exam, 1 day practical and 1 day verbal. I said, yes. He said, did you memorize our brioche recipe? I said, oh, sure. Okay, tell me. So I recited the brioche recipe. He said, okay, now you forget about it. because I don't want my competitors to know my brioche recipe. At that time, the brioche was the best brioche of Paris, was the equivalent of being the best pastry shop in Paris. That was the standard. But I told him, the chef who are going to ask me that question, they don't know my name. I go there with a number. No. Don't worry. Many of the chefs volunteer to proctor the exam because they want to know the recipes from them. At that time, the recipes were very secret. My father was the first one to publish his recipes. So he was not afraid that the competitors could see his recipes. And I said, okay. He said, no, you forget about our recipe and find another one for tomorrow. All right. So
you had des espions. They were spies.
I went back to my to the lab, and I asked myself, maybe I should know more about that exam. So I asked one of the sous chefs. There was only one chef, that was my dad. What kind of practical exam are they asking for the CAP? And one said immediately, oh, for sure, they will ask you to do the pâte à choux, the éclair. Then I turned white. I said, but in 2 years, I never did one éclair here. So I did not know how to do the pâte à choux. But the answer was, you have all the night to practice. So imagine, I had to be at exam center at 7 a.m. but I had to unlearn our best recipe and learn an important recipe from scratch, which I did. So no, I was not ready.
But so for the third question, what was your strategy or your plan for creating École des Nôtres, the first French chef's continuing education school in Paris in 1968?
Excellent question. My father, even so he was elected by his peer, president of the guild of the pastry shop in Paris, was humble enough to think that he needed more education in his field, especially in chocolate candy. And he looked for a place in France where you can do continuing education in pastry or chocolate candy or ice cream or whatever. And there was none. Finally, he found a place in Basel, la ville de Bâle, à l'angle de la Suisse, de la France et de l'Allemagne. That school was called COBA, C-O-B-A. And I still remember that place. So my father enrolled there under a pseudonym. Well, 2 hours after he was there, everybody knew he was Gaston LeNôtre from Paris, but he did not want to brag. He wanted to be one of the students. And it was very courageous because the busy time for our business was Saturday, Sunday. So he was taking a night train Friday night to be, Sunday night to be at the school on Monday morning, and on Friday back to Paris with a night train, so ready to lead the staff for the big days. La fournée, on appelait ça la fournée. Alors, he was very tired, certainly, because sleeping in a train is not the best place. And having to work on his day off, Saturday and Sunday, where actually it's busier day. When he returned, he called me in his office, the kitchen, the family kitchen. He said, Alain, It was fantastic. I learned so much. I want you to go there. It will do you a lot of good. I said, oh, all right. And I was a good student in German, so I had no problem to go in a part of Switzerland where they speak mostly German. And all the teachers there were, most of them, all of them maybe, were bilingual. They were from Alsace. So that was not a problem. I was happy to travel. For me, that was going to be a few months of vacation. And I could ask questions. And because I spoke a little bit of German, I befriended the owner, Mr. Perlia, and he took me with him to a pastry food show in Munich, or Bavière, au sud de l'Allemagne. And on the way back, he didn't speak much. He never speak much. Typical German Swiss. Very serious, very business. Said, Alain, I have a confidence for you. In 6 months, I closed my school. Oh, I was shocked, because I knew my father had researchers for continuing education place, and there was only one he found. I asked him, are your employees aware that your chef, your training? Yes, they know that. I told them last week. I asked him, may I share that news with my father? He said, sure, tell him. Immediately, the next morning, I called my dad. I said, this is our chance to open a LeNôtre continuing education school in Paris. The staff is there. The only competitor is closing in 6 months. And we just had, in 68, purchase a plant in the countryside. Countryside at that time was 30 minutes from from the Champs-Élysées, in a little town called Pleasure. Can you imagine working, doing the LeNôtre pastries and catering over there? He said, "Oh, we have plenty of room there." So I hired the 3 main instructors. They did not even negotiate the the salary. That was immediately yes. All right. And we knew the date. They were supposed to be there 6 months later. And my father had forgotten the date. Mr. Poney, the head of the school at that time, arrived in Plaisir and went straight to see my dad. And my father, who had forgotten the date, told him, "Oh, Mr. Poney, are you in vacation? It's nice of you to visit me." He said, "Your son hired me 6 months ago." Oh yes, that's good. Yes. We have to do it, but we don't have room anymore because all that room I wanted to use is going to be for our catering. But don't worry, we have a lot of hand around, and my son will be with you and our architect, and in 6 months you will have a nice LeNôtre school there. Actually, 3 years later, it was too small again, and we built another one with 8 classrooms instead of 2. So that was pure chance, let's say, that first I have the desire for education, and second, the opportunity came at the right moment.
Thank you so much for it. That's an incredible explanation of how the next school started. So I think, Melissa, we're ready for next steps. Yes.
Yeah.
At Culinary Institute LeNôtre,
we create a higher level of excellence.
Unstoppable potential.
We create innovation built on tradition. opportunity at every step.
We create environments for our students to succeed.
To live out their dreams.
Born of a legacy of excellence.
We are creating the culinary masters of tomorrow.
See what you create.
At Culinary Institute LeNôtre.
I joined LeNôtre so I can perfection some techniques and learn from the best.
It's really exciting to learn from chefs that give you every single ounce of knowledge that they have.
I've been doing this for a long time, just show them, the way it's going to be in the industry.
They truly care about each and every student.
He's going to hold me to his standard, but that actually helped me later in life.
I love being able to come to school every day knowing that I'll be challenged in an actual kitchen environment.
I was able to gain so much knowledge, technique, and skill. It really helped me and helped me grow as a chef.
Quality training gets you excellent chefs.
Actually, a lot of my dreams have already come true, thanks to Culinary Institute LeNôtre.
The #1 in America.
Did you build that interview?
Good afternoon, les amis de la France, les amis de l'Alliance française. Je suis heureux aujourd'hui de vous faire une démonstration d'une nouvelle recette, la tarte Nougat Pomme, en anglais, Apple and Almond Tart. It's page 258 of our book. But first of all, turn your oven at 330 degrees Fahrenheit in advance. I'm going to show you a picture related to the question I answered earlier about Gaston LeNôtre and his catering business and his marketing talent. Here we are in the garden of the Élysée President's Palace for a Bastille Day garden party catered by the LeNôtre. And you will see immediately the ambience. All right, let's start with our baking. The equipment you are going to need for the French Tarte Nougat Pomme are baking sheet, 1 baking dish, and sifter, 1 spoon, small offset spatula, brush, pie weight or beans for blind baking, 1 rolling pin, tart ring, 1 paring knife, fork, 1 rubber spatula, 1 whisk, 2 bowls, parchment paper. The ingredients for the Tarte Nougat Pomme: egg white, 70 grams, sugar, granulated sugar, 70 grams too, sliced almonds, 70 grams also. All of that for the almond topping. For the baked apples, to make 1 day ahead of time, 1 kilo 200 grams of firm baking apples, such as Chanticleer, Belle de Boscop, or golden apples, 80 grams of butter to be melted, and 80 grams of vanilla sugar. For the shell, some butter to get the baking ring, and 300 grams of sweet short crust pastry dough, page 41 in the French pastry dessert by LeNôtre. 1 egg yolk, lightly beaten to glaze the bottom of the dough. For the decoration, use confectioner's sugar for dusting all around. This recipe requires some planning because you have to soak the almond in the egg white and the sugar 3 days in advance. I apologize, this is the recipe. Now let's do it. I'm pouring my egg white in my mixing bowl, my granulated sugar on it, enough for the sugar to melt. Then I'm pouring my sliced almonds, mixing them gently because you don't want to crush the almonds. Those almonds will be on the top of the cake and will turn gold in the oven. So they need to be fragile. When you do your mixing, do it gently. All right, it's enough. I'm going to cover them with a film. And here we are, my mise en place 3 days in a walk-in cooler. Step 2, the apples. They have been peeled, cut in two, pour the butter. Very easy. Everybody can do it. I melted the butter with microwave, but you can use any technique. Ready for the granulated sugar, gently. It's going to make a syrup. My mold is ready to get into the oven for the apples to be baked at 340 degrees for 30 minutes. My apple have been baking for 30 minutes at 340 Fahrenheit, and this is how they look like. I will check if it's properly cooked, baked. Yes, yes, yes. They are ready. It's baked. Now let's prepare the tart. While my apples have been baking, I prepared a sweet shortcut pastry dough, une pâte sablée sucrée en français. Here it is. It has been refrigerated for half a day or full day in a film, well protected. And I'm going to laminate it. Je vais fleurer ma table. I have 2 rulers to help me dough sheeting at 3 mm thickness. Turning gently. The dough is still cold, but this way it's not sticking my table. Almost there. The trick is to make it round and not to stick on the table. Perfect. I'm going to butter my rings. Not too much, but enough. And I'm covering with my rolling pin the ring, and then I'm folding the dough inside the ring. My left hand lifts the dough, my right hand is pushing the dough in. We're almost there. Now I'm cutting the dough with a rolling pin. This is not waste. You can do nice candy with that. So, to bake evenly, I will have to cover it with a film and pour beans inside. And the beans will work as a weight to keep the dough inside, vertical. Now the fonçage is finished. The tart is ready to go to the oven. And what I like to do is to keep the beans in the film for another time. We are going to bake our tart for 20 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. But now the delicate part is to move it to the baking tray, right at the center. Here we are, to the oven. 20 minutes later, the fond de tarte is baked, or pre-baked. I save that for another day. And I'm going to egg wash with egg yolk the center of my tart. Why do we do that? It's because we want the tart to stay crispy till the end. So when we are going to do the final baking with the apple inside, this little coating at the bottom and on the edge will keep the humidity and protect the dough crispiness. And voila, back to the oven for 5 minutes to glaze the bottoms of the tart. Still warm. Now I am going to drain, after 3 days, those unfortunate almonds sliced out of my egg white and with their sugar, to remove the excess of sugar and egg white. Filling the tart. I'm going to try to make a dome. Tight, each piece tied to each other. I'm going to try not to leave any space in between. I'm going to cut some pieces to fill the edges. This is delicious dessert. It requires planning and a lot of patience, but the reward is something great. I'm pressing gently into the mold and now coating with the almond sliced. So be generous with it because it's part of the recipe. There will be a crispiness on the top, so it's not just apple we are going to enjoy, but also the crispy almonds. I hope your oven is still on because we are going to glaze the almond until they turn nice gold. I leave the tart in the ring to be safe. Now it's ready to go back to the oven for 20 minutes at 325 degrees again. The last touch, the professional touch. Removing the tart from the ring without breaking anything. Obviously, you wait for the tart to be cold, right? And I put enough butter on my ring so it's not sticking, you see. Here it is. It almost break, but it's okay. The last touch, the decor. Pastry chef. Because we eat first with the ice. So I'm sifting white powder sugar. Not much, but enough. It's just for the decor. Madame est servie. Enjoy the dessert. Sorry for the long mise en place and preparation, but this is the way it is. Our dessert is ready to be served. but a last touch will be to serve it with Calvados or Benedictine brandy from Normandy, lightly warm eventually, or a cup of vanilla ice cream. Does it look like it should? I think we did a good job. Enjoy your dessert.
Thank you, Chef. It looks delicious, absolutely delicious. We have some questions. I think we've asked you this before, Chef LeNôtre. The plastic wrap used from Anne Hopcraft, the plastic wrap used to cover the beans, doesn't it melt? So therefore, the question is there a certain plastic wrap that you use that given the temperature of the oven, it's not going to melt when you put the beans in it?
You have to buy the right one. It's a high quality film, baker film, we call it.
Bakers.
High quality baker film, and they don't melt. No.
Okay, so we'll look for high quality baker's film. Another question from Anne.
I don't know if there are different thickness, but by the thicker that you can find.
Does the tart ring size matter?
No, not at all.
You say I think 9-inch in the recipe, if I'm not correct.
Not matter. Don't make it taller because then it takes too much time to bake, and there is a risk to over bake the dough. But no, the recipe is fine. Not smaller and not lower and not higher.
Okay, so 9 inches and the same width. Henry Leitzel says, I bought your excellent book and served this dessert at lunch today. It was delicious.
Right. Bravo, Henry. I hope you have. What did you do? So you serve it with vanilla ice cream and some Calvados?
Harry, you're muted.
Not really, although I wish I had thought of it. No, it's an excellent idea. I look forward to making it again. Did you use a 9-inch ring when you made their demonstration today, or it looked like a 6-inch to me from here?
The diameter?
Your ring, was that a 6-inch or a 9-inch ring that you used?
You can make as wide as you want.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think, Melissa, do you see any more questions? I don't think. I would be curious, can we use just a regular springform pan if it's 9 inches versus a ring?
Okay, the pan, I don't advise for the pan, the one I've been using in that recipe to bake the apples, for example. I don't advise to use this type of pan. Because it's complicate the recipe that bring an element in between the dough and the oven tray.
Okay.
So that changes the timing of the cooking, of the baking, and so on. Just follow the recipe like it is.
Okay.
Directly the dough directly on the baking tray.
Okay. So, Melissa, do you think we're ready for the pâtisserie quiz?
Sure. I'll bring up the quiz rules.
All right, everyone, so listen up. So because the rules have changed a little bit from last time. So you'll see a photo of a French pâtisserie, and there will be 3 questions to answer about each one. So if you are the first person to correctly answer 3 questions for that dessert by putting all your responses, and this is the important part, in the same chat comment, you will win a signed copy of French Pastries and Desserts by LeNôtre. But try and put everything in one place so that we're not searching for the responses. And here comes the picture. So question 1, what is the name of this dessert? What is the origin of this dessert? And what is it made of? How much time do we give everybody, Melissa?
Oh, we can give them 30 seconds or a minute. Okay, that's been about a minute.
And I think we have a winner, do we not? Harry, am I correct that Harry's, no, they're 2. So who is the first? Melissa, can you see? Here we go. So
Should we unveil the responses and then see whose responses matched best?
Exactly.
Okay.
So the answer is Paris-Brest. The origin, in 1910, pastry chef Louis Durand created the dessert as an homage to the long-distance Paris-Brest-Paris bicycle race. The pastry's circular shape is meant to evoke that of a bicycle wheel. Taste, crisp and almond-studded baking ring of pâte à choux that is split in half horizontally, liberally filled with praline cream mousseline, a heady mixture of vanilla pastry cream, nutty praline paste, and whipped butter, and finished with a dusting of powdered sugar. So the winner are, Melissa, do you have the winners in front of you?
Now we have to look through the chat here.
Here we go. So we have, how many winners can we have?
But I don't know what is the answer for Françoise gave.
Françoise says Paris-Brest, Tour de France, praline, hazelnuts, and pâte à choux. And yes, so Françoise is the first to respond with the correct answer.
Correct answer, except that it's not the Tour de France. That was a race, one weekend race, or one day race, actually, on difficult roads between the harbor of Brest in Brittany and Paris. But you are very close, Françoise. I think you won a book. What Théophile said. What is your answer, Théophile?
Théophile, is he?
Oh, I said it was a Paris-Brest, and it was also from the Tour de France. And I also said that it was a praline and hazelnut crème with the pâte à choux.
It's a tie with Françoise. Yeah, sure. We have 2 winners here.
And I think we have a couple of others. Geneviève.
Go ahead.
Geneviève, you said Paris-Brest.
Yes, actually, I wanted to say everything, but I didn't know it was right here, and then I was confused. But yes, I knew it was a Paris-Brest, and it was the race from Paris and Brest, not the Tour de France and the cream. It's one of my favorite desserts. So yes, I know it.
What the taste of that cake?
Oh, it's praline. It's like crème pralinée.
Crème pralinée. Is that in your answer?
Oui. No, it's in crème. C'est in crème chibouts now. It's not like a crème crème au beurre like before, but now it's more chibouts cream with like it's lighter now, right? Am I wrong?
No, it can be chibouts or it can be plain buttercream, but
I prefer the Shibutz one.
I agree with you. We're speaking here. Is it?
Genevieve Younes. I live in Baltimore.
What's your name?
Genevieve Younes. Baltimore, Maryland.
Geneviève.
Oui, Geneviève. Oui, oui.
We also have Josette Marche, who responded at the same time as Françoise, but she responded in a direct message to me. She said Paris-Brest, Tour de France, praline, pâte à choux.
Okay, but without saying the taste of it. You have to describe what is the taste of pâte à choux. Well, nobody did that, right? No. Okay. Our audience suppose that when you say pâte à choux and praline cream, you know the taste of it. You don't have to describe it. So we have two obvious winners, Françoise and Théophile.
Okay.
Move on to the next question.
Next one, yeah.
Oops. What is the name of this dessert? Question number 2. And what is the reason for its shape and fame? And what does it taste like? This shouldn't take so long, no?
Maybe like 20 seconds for this one.
Yep.
Okay. It's been 30 seconds. Time's up.
Et voila. Where are we here? So, Chef, you can see the answers. We have croissant chocolat from Elizabeth, croissant half moon buttery and flaky from Giselle, croissant nature pâte feuilletée from Geneviève, croissant growing and baking, croissant crescent moon and croissant de lune, croissant au beurre, moist, delicious, croissant flaky, buttery, half crescent, croissant heavenly.
Who said half crescent?
Croissant heavenly?
Give me the name.
That's Harry. Harry Lights said croissant heavenly.
Okay, Harry, okay.
And then we have croissant half moon butter. Josette, croissant commemorates revolutions, flaky. Norma says croissant, horn, taste of butter. Françoise says croissant, flaky butter from Vienne.
Yes, that's a good answer.
Okay.
Good Françoise. Oh, this is the same Françoise.
And let's continue. Raphael says croissant shape of Keep Ferry, beurre.
Melissa, is Françoise who answer for the croissant the same Françoise who answer for the Paris-Brest?
I think so.
Okay.
And Catherine, who says corniche. And I think that's everybody.
Okay, so no. Okay, so one person said that it's origin from Vienna.
Yes.
That Françoise, she already won a book. Who else beside of Françoise mentioned the origin, the Austrian origin from Vienna?
I don't think anybody. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Raphaël Keep Ferry à Viennoiserie.
Raphaël.
Yes.
Right? Raphaël.
What about Virginia? Croissant, victory over Turks at Vienna, buttery pastry.
Okay. So what is name again? What is name again?
Raphaël and Virginia we have.
Raphaël. Gisèle. Écrivez Raphaël.
Oui.
Raphaël.
Oui, j'ai dit que ça venait de la pastry qui s'appelle Kipferl in Austrian, qui est en forme de croissant de lune.
Oui, c'est bien. It's good. You mentioned Austria is a good part. Yeah. So we have three winners. Giselle and Raphael, definitely. Virginia, I'm not sure. I don't remember what she said.
So Virginia says croissant victory over Turks at Vienna, buttery pastry.
Excellent, excellent. That was not the place of the battle, but it's excellent. Okay, you can show the answer now. Giselle and Raphael and Virginia, congratulations.
Okay, so let's go on to the third and final question. Oh, here we go. Croissant. Okay, what reason for its shape and fame? In 1623, the Muslim Ottoman Empire started to invade the Austro-Hungarian Catholic Empire and set the siege on Vienna. The legend, perhaps, says that the Viennese, running out of food, catapulted a bag of their curved croissants over their walls to bluff the Ottoman to think that there was still plenty of food in Vienna. What made the Ottoman leave Austria was a rescue army of 23,000 soldiers under the Polish king. It could be that the shape of the Viennese croissant is curved to supposedly resemble the Ottoman sign and that famous bluff. Taste: a buttery crescent-shaped French pastry, light, flaky, and delicately sweet.
Very good to the winner.
So here we go. So it's question 3. What is the name of this dessert? What is the origin of this dessert? And what is it made of? So I think we need to give people a little more than 20 seconds for this one.
Yes.
Are we ready, Melissa? Do you think? All right, so we have, not sure if anybody got this right, but I hope Chef LeNôtre teaches us how to make this. So from Elizabeth, we hear chocolate cake, France, chocolate butter, flour, egg, sugar. From Geneviève, opéra, question mark, Paris, question mark, crème au chocolat et café. From Susie Thomas, sachet tarte, Austria, chocolate cake, raspberry filling. Jane, sachet tarte, Austria, chocolate. Josette March, chocolate ruffle cake, Austria, chocolate raspberry. Nikki Wang, gâteau l'opéra or Black Forest cake. Claire, fondant au chocolat, made of dark chocolate, butter, and flour. Alex, chocolate ganache from chocolate truffles. Gisèle, crémeux au chocolat, chocolate. Françoise, forêt noire, Alsace, chocolate. Alex, Switzerland or Paris. Does Théophile have one? Oh, here we go. Théophile, forêt noire, Allemagne, biscuit chocolat, crème et cerise. Lily's cake. Alors, Josette, I just remembered, feuille d'automne. Alors, Josette, I think you got it right.
Joseph has a name. Okay. Oh, Josette.
Yes.
Josette feuille d'automne. Bravo, Josette.
Merci.
What else do you say on the feuille d'automne, Josette?
Austria and chocolate and raspberry.
No. But
maybe I got Austria wrong. I don't know.
you remember the name. It's what is the most important. It looks like you buried the competition there. That it's. I have a story for you. The feuille d'automne is made of 3 layers of vanilla meringue and chocolate mousse in between, and leaves that you shape very thinly on a marble for the decor. So when I started my first boutique in Houston, people in Texas may have no clue what is meringue. So, and I did not know that. I imagine meringue was famous. So one day a customer brought back the feuille d'automne, and I was in that shop at that time, at that moment, and he said, "Sir, I want a refund." But I said, "You already eat 75% of it." They said, no. See, it's not. It was not fresh. It was stale because inside the biscuit was hard to eat, and so I gave the refund, and then I gave a baking lesson saying that this is meringue. Meringue is supposed to be crispy, and this is and that was okay to bring it back.
So, Chef, we're hearing just some extra comments. I've never met, wow, Nikki says, I've never heard of this cake before. Somebody wants you to open a pâtisserie in Baltimore. But I think a lot of us, maybe you could pencil in that maybe this would be a wonderful example of something that you could teach us how to cook. I think everyone was fascinated with this particular gâteau d'Œuf. And was it not? Well, let's look at any the answer that Chef LeNôtre gave for this, because I think again, so Josette got the title correct, Feuille d'automne, and the origin is Gaston LeNôtre, 1968 on France.
Yeah,
and as Chef LeNôtre said, it's dark chocolate mousse and almond meringue cake.
No, almond meringue is optional.
Okay.
Or you can have, there are 3 layers. You can put 3 layers of vanilla meringue, or 2 layers of vanilla meringue and 1 layer of almond meringue.
Okay, and Chef, what is this recipe in your cookbook? Can we all try this? Is it in this cookbook?
Yes, it's page 185.
Okay, page 185.
185.
185. I think everybody's going to be motivated to do this. So Melissa, do we have time for a couple of questions, or should we just? Are there any questions?
We have about 5 minutes left.
About a visit, yes, obviously, somebody would like to know if we organize visit. Yes, we organize visit. We have open house for senior student in almost all the high school in Houston. We have 1 or 2 days, right?
Saturday we have one.
Yeah.
But we can.
So, but it's better to do the visit. It's free, obviously. It's guided, and it's better to do the visit from Monday to Thursday.
We can contact me.
You can do it, but
we need to contact me, and I will send you.
So you have to contact Christelle. Sometime we can do it on Saturdays, because we have a program on Saturdays that we call the Chef Club. It's for amateurs, adult or teenager. So we can do that, but it's more interesting to visit Monday to Thursday, because you see the school in full actions.
So my email address is in the.
So Giselle had asked the same question. So we have 2 people that are interested in visiting.
So
are there any other questions from the audience?
Email address is in
the chat. We need the address email. Or do you?
My email address is in the chat.
Oh,
yeah.
Are they from Houston?
I don't know. Well, Claire must be, because she says, is it possible to bring students to visit your institute in Houston?
She said also from Houston. Thank you.
So she can come. She's a teacher. She can come with her student. And there will be a testing, definitely. Some high school in Houston have a budget to teach French etiquette in restaurants. And they ask us to prepare a meal, 4 or 5 courses. And obviously we do courses on etiquettes, how to dress, how to speak, how to eat, how to use a fork and a spoon, and so on. And the dress fancy. It's always nice to have those group touring our place. We have 12 kitchen. We call them lab here. 6 in pastry and 6 in cuisine, in 2 buildings next to each other. And it's fascinating to watch the kitchen in action, all in action. We have 3 shifts today, from 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 p.m. But obviously those tours for the high school students are during their high school hours. They are more than welcome.
So we have one more question. A recommendation on brands for butter and for cream.
On the weight of it?
On brands, on what kind of butter do you use? And yeah.
For the brand, for the butter, like usual, try to find a butter low in water. So less water, better the quality, the taste. Unfortunately, too many butter have a lot of water in it, and the manufacturing company make more money with that. But you're buying water at the price of butter.
Okay.
Chef LeNôtre, do you always use French butter?
No.
Or are there American brands of butter that
they
you
are
would
good.
use? Yeah.
The one we use in Houston is our butter supplier. Yes.
So one other question before we.
In the Houston area, it's Borden, B-O-R-D-E-N, but maybe it's more than Houston. Yes. We buy all of our butter from them.
Borden, okay.
Yeah.
Geneviève is asking, what do you think about silicone pans?
What content?
What do you think about silicone pans?
Silicone pan?
Yeah.
Let's say for this dessert is going to be too soft. Because you want the crust to stay like a nice ring. So there is a risk of breaking. I did not try it. There is a risk of breaking the tart.
But you're not against silicone pan in general, right? I mean, the time of the cooking.
It may not cook at the same time than our recipe either. Okay. So it's another recipe, but you can invent it if you want.
Thank you.
Because the basics are the same, you know. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you to Chef LeNôtre. Thank you to all of our winners. And Melissa, do you want to put the slide of the book up so people can look where to find how to purchase an autographed copy?
And by the way, happy Halloween coming soon.
No so here's the address to buy the book and have it autographed by Chef LeNôtre, if you so choose. And we look so forward to seeing Chef LeNôtre again. I think it's on the 15th, Melissa, isn't it?
Can you copy the address into the chat so we can copy it?
Of course.
Thank you.
The address of the Culinary Institute?
Where to purchase the book. It's on the...
We have a boutique where we sell a lot of books and textbook for the student also. So it's inside our Culinary Institute. in
So
Houston.
Chef LeNôtre will be back on November 16th at the same time to feature, I think you're doing a rice pudding, am I correct? Is that what we're doing on the 16th?
Yes. Wait, riz à l'impératrice, pas rice pudding.
Rice pudding, I'm simplifying it. Forgive me.
Well, I forgive you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chef LeNôtre, and we look so forward to the two upcoming events in November and December. And Chef LeNôtre has also agreed to continue with us in 2023. So we're thrilled to welcome him to continue this wonderful program.
With pleasure. Thank you very much, L'Alliance Française.
Thank you.